And bring your mind to the same place your body is. And if you're not sitting at a desk with your feet down, you can have them on a cushion. Make sure your knees are in a parallel position. And you can have your hips, your sits bones slightly raised. If you are sitting in the cross-legged position, the regular cross-legged position for meditation, put a couple of cushions underneath your knees. And having the hips raised about 2 to 4 inches, or the sits bones raised, something's firm underneath there, helps to both align the spine and also helps release some of that tension in the hips and knees. And just your hands are in the Meditation Mudra with the right hand nestled in the left with the thumbs touching. And just imagine your spine is a string of pearls of light stretching from the base of the spine all the way up through the crown of your head, lengthening. And the head is slightly tipped forward, eyes are down, looking along the length of the nose. If they were open, you'd be looking at a spot in front of you about 2 inches away from your feet. Tip of the tongue is on the roof of the mouth, and relax the jaw. And welcome home Mary and Manuel. Just bring our attention to the crown of the head and relax the scalp and the forehead and the eyes, the nose, the cheeks, the area around your mouth, your ears, the back of the head, your scalp, the occipital bone there. And when you do relax your scalp, just notice your ears relaxing again, your temples, the back of the tongue, the jaw, and release any tension in the back of the neck and the shoulders. Just allow your shoulder blades to drop down, and that area in between your shoulder blades, the thoracic region there, and relax the throat and the chest and the belly, the limbs, the hands, the fingers, the feet, and the toes. And bring your mind to the breath. Just notice the sensation of the air as you're inhaling and exhaling. If there are any sounds in your external environment, you just allow those sounds to be there. Noticing what your mind is attracted to, what it pushes away. And try not to engage, and then notice that, and then allow the sounds just to fade into the background as you focus on your breath. You know, it's like when you're really engaged in something, you're really focused on watching a movie, for example, or you're concentrating on something, you don't notice any sound. You're just focused on what you're doing, focused on that movie. And then notice your thoughts. That river of mental moments. Try not to engage with them. The moment you engage, you're somehow imprisoned by your thoughts. So if you're sitting on the bank of the river and watching that river of mental moments, you're free from the river. So let's just bring to mind all the people of our life, and our friends, our loved ones, our spouses, our children. and those people that we have difficulty with. And then there's those strangers, the person in the supermarket, the person at the traffic light next to us. They're all equal in their wish to be happy and their wish to avoid suffering, and this unbelievable capacity for this enlightened mind. So they all deserve our equal concern. But interestingly, we only really have concern for the ones we love. Everybody else doesn't seem to have. We don't concern ourselves with other people. So I think we'll do this meditation this evening for the benefit of all these people of our life. And you can think particularly also of all other sentient beings, particularly those who are involved with the fires there, where you're in your area, if you are in the Santa Fe area, Arizona, and then think of all the people caught up with that war in Ukraine. And just think we'll do this meditation for ourselves as we move along our spiritual path, as we continue to try to sort of work on all our negative mind states, our delusions, and purifying ourselves so we can actually finally dig for gold, who we really are, who you've always been. So imagine, remember, there is no negativity that cannot be purified. And this purification process is basically a psychological wonder. And we are creating negativity with our mind, so we're going to create positivity with our mind instead. So we can change it. The thoughts that we have, the negativity that we have inside us, or we have expressed in various ways with our speech and our body, is not permanent. We can change it, and we have the power to do that. So first of all, we come to the power of regret. So sincerely regret from the depths of your heart anything you have done to harm any living being on this day, in this life, and in all past lives. And think of specific actions of both your body and your speech, and then in general regret all. And the reason to regret is based on this logic of karma. We experience everything due to our past karma, our past actions. So having harmed others, we ourselves will necessarily experience suffering in the future. We cannot bear the thought of future suffering that we ourselves will experience. So logically, therefore, it makes sense to remove the karmic seeds before they ripen as our future suffering. So think like this: I regret from the depths of my heart having harmed others with my body and my speech, having broken my vows because I do not want the future suffering. I'm sick of suffering. And also regret any anger, attachment, and the rest that are the cause of why we harm others. And think again, I'm sick of this suffering. So what can I do about it? Whom can I turn to? So here we come to the power of reliance. The first little section here is about refuge. So we we turn to the Buddha, the doctor, who has the methods that we can use to purify. So we think of them as medicine. And it's not that we want Buddha or we need Buddha to forgive us. This is not some God out there that's kind of, giving us some absolution. It's a process that we engage in on our own, using the methods. So you can imagine Vajrasattva above the crown of your head, and you can imagine also this is your teacher, your Lama, your trusted mentor, your guru, however you see this person who is leading you along the path to enlightenment, manifesting in this aspect for your benefit. So he's made of brilliant, radiant, blissful white light, sitting cross-legged on a white lotus and a moon cushion. He has this beautiful, radiant face, and his eyes are long and peaceful and full of love and compassion for you. Whatever it is you've shown up with tonight, well, that's okay. There's no judgment about what you've done, who you are, just loves you exactly as you are today. His eyes he has this sweet red mouth, his hair is black and held up in a top knot, and he's wearing jewelry and beautiful clothes, silken robes in the Royal Indian style, sort of scarves and silks. And he has an aura of light around his head and a body. His arms are crossed at his heart, the left underneath the right. The left is holding a bell representing wisdom. The right is holding a Vajra, which represents the indestructibility of compassion, and their being crossed represents the union of these two. This symbolizes enlightenment itself, the development of infinite wisdom and infinite compassion. To the Buddha, the Dharma and the Sangha, I go for refuge until I am enlightened. By this practice of meditating on Guru Vajrasattva, may I reach Buddhahood so as to benefit all sentient beings. So in order to develop compassion, we need to rely upon other beings. So the very beings we have harmed and those who have harmed us. So first of all, bring to mind someone you've harmed recently. And then think of someone who has harmed you. It's a bit more difficult, but for both these groups of people, just develop a mind for them to be free from suffering. And particularly the one who has harmed you, because the suffering they've caused you is going to necessarily bring suffering to them in the future. This is the way karma works, action. So I think I must purify for their sake, for all these sentient beings. Now we come to the power of the remedy, and this is the actual medicine. This is the medicine of doing the practice of visualization and mantra recitation. So first of all, we purify the body. So Vajrasattva very compassionately sends powerful white nectar. It's all like coming out of a hose, or if you can imagine something as powerful as Niagara Falls, if that's not too intense for you, pouring into you, pouring from Vajrasattva's heart, arcing around, pouring into you through the crown of your head, filling your entire body. And it keeps pouring into you and forces out of your lower orifices all the harm you have ever done to any living being with your body in the form of inky liquid. And this pours out of you and disappears into space, not one atom left, as we recite the mantra. Om Vajrasattva Samaya Manupalaya Vajrasattva Dina Patita Dida Mebowa Sutokaya Mebowa Supokaya Mebowa Anarakta Mebowa Sawasiti Mempi Yata Sawa Kama Sita Me Sitam Shriyam Guruhum Ha 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 Ho Bhagavan Sawa Tata Gata Vajramame Mutta Vajrabawa Mahasamaya Sattva Ahom Pe Om Vajrasattva Samaya Manupalaya Vajrasattva Dina Patita Dida Mebowa Sutokaya Mebowa Supokaya Mebowa Anarakta Mebowa Sawasiti Mempi Yata Sawa Kama Sita Me Sitam Shriyam Guruhum Ha 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 Ho Bhagavan Sawa Tata Gata Vajramame Mutta Vajrabawa Mahasamaya Sattva Ahom Pe Om Vajrasattva Samaya Manupalaya Vajrasattva Dina Patita Dida Mebowa Sutokaya Mebowa Supokaya Mebowa Anarakta Mebowa Sawasiti Mempi Yata Sawa Kama Sita Me Sitam Shriyam Guruhum Ha 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 Ho Bhagavan Sawa Tata Gata Vajramame Mutta Vajrabawa Mahasamaya Sattva Ahom Pe Om Vajrasattva Samaya Manupalaya Vajrasattva Dina Patita Dida Mebowa Sutokaya Mebowa Supokaya Mebowa Anarakta Mebowa Sawasiti Mempi Yata Sawa Kama Sita Me Sitam Shriyam Guruhum Ha 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 Ho Bhagavan Sawa Tata Gata Vajramame Mutta Vajrabawa Mahasamaya Sattva Ahom Pe Om Vajrasattva Samaya Manupalaya Vajrasattva Dina Patita Dida Mebowa Sutokaya Mebowa Supokaya Mebowa Anarakta Mebowa Sawasiti Mempi Yata Sawa Kama Sita Me Sitam Shriyam Guruhum Ha 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 Ho Bhagavan Sawa Tata Gata Vajramame Mutta Vajrabawa Mahasamaya Sattva Ahom Pe Om Vajrasattva Samaya Manupalaya Vajrasattva Dina Patita Dida Mebowa Sutokaya Mebowa Supokaya Mebowa Anarakta Mebowa Sawasiti Mempi Yata Sawa Kama Sita Me Sitam Shriyam Guruhum Ha 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 Ho Bhagavan Sawa Tata Gata Vajramame Mutta Vajrabawa Mahasamaya Sattva Ahom Pe Om Vajrasattva Samaya Manupalaya Vajrasattva Dina Patita Dida Mebowa Sutokaya Mebowa Supokaya Mebowa Anarakta mebowa sawasiti mimpi yatsa sawa kama sita me sitam shriyam kuruhum ha 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 ho bhagawan sawa tata gata vajramame mutta vajrabawa mahasamaya sattva ahom pe. So then be delighted that all the harm you've ever done to any sentient being with your body is now completely purified, and think there is no way to do anything other than benefit others now with your body. And so the next is the purification of speech. And again, Vajrasattva very happily sends powerful nectar from his heart chakra. And this arcs around and again quite forcefully enters your crown, filling your entire body. Except this time forcing up to the top of the body all the negativity of your speech, and this overflows, quite powerfully overflows, and disappears into space. So imagine all the gossip and the harsh speech and useless speech and lying and talking badly about others behind their backs. All of this is purified by this powerful nectar filling you as you recite the mantra. Om Vajrasattva Samaya Manupalaya Vajrasattva Dinapatita Dida Mebowa Sutokaya Mebowa Supokaya Mebowa Anarakta Mebowa Sawasiti Mimpi Yatsa Sawa Kama Sita Me Sitam Shriyam Guruhum Ha 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 Ho Bhagawan Sawa Tatagata Vajramame Mutta Vajrabawa Mahasamaya Sattva Ahom Pe. Om Vajrasattva Samaya Manupalaya Vajrasattva Dinapatita Dida Mebowa Sutokaya Mebowa Supokaya Mebowa Anarakta mebowa sawasiti mimpi yatsa sawa kama sita me sitam shriyam kuruhum ha 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 ho bhagawan sawa tatagata vajramame mutta vajrabawa mahasamaya sattva ahom pe. Om Vajrasattva samaya manupalaya Vajrasattva dinapatita dida mebowa sutokaya mebowa supokaya mebowa Anarakta mebowa sawasiti mimpi yatsa sawa kama sita me sitam shriyam kuruhum ha 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 ho bhagawan sawa tatagata vajramame mutta vajrabawa mahasamaya sattva ahom pe. Om Vajrasattva samaya manupalaya Vajrasattva dinapatita dida mebowa sutokaya mebowa supokaya mebowa Anarakta mebowa sawasiti mimpi yatsa sawa kama sita me sitam shriyam kuruhum ha 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 ho bhagawan sawa tatagata vajramame mutta vajrabawa mahasamaya sattva ahom pe. Om Vajrasattva samaya manupalaya Vajrasattva dinapatita dida mebowa sutokaya mebowa supokaya mebowa Anarakta mebowa sawasiti mimpi yatsa sawa kama sita me sitam shriyam kuruhum ha 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 ho bhagawan sawa tatagata vajramame mutta vajrabawa mahasamaya sattva ahom pe. Om Vajrasattva samaya manupalaya Vajrasattva dinapatita dida mebowa sutokaya mebowa supokaya mebowa Anarakta mebowa sawasiti mimpi yatsa sawa kama sita me sitam kuruhum ha 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 ho bhagawan sawa tatagata vajramame mutta vajrabawa mahasamaya sattva ahom pe. Om Vajrasattva samaya manupalaya Vajrasattva dinapatita dida mebowa sutokaya mebowa supokaya mebowa Anarakta mebowa sawasiti mimpi yatsa sawa kama sita me sitam shriyam kuruhum ha 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 ho bhagawan sawa tatagata vajramame mutta vajrabawa mahasamaya sattva ahom pe. So again, feel so incredibly happy that your speech is now completely purified. Imagine it's not possible to do anything other than benefit others now with your speech. So the next is the purification of the mind. And Guru Vajrasattva very compassionately sends powerful beams of light from his heart chakra, and this arcs around, enters your crown and fills your entire being. So it's just the same as when you walk into a room, a dark room, and you switch on a light. That light instantly dispels the darkness. This is the same here. When the light from Vajrasattva's heart touches your heart, all the darkness of the negativity of your mind, so all the anger and depression and attachment and grasping and neediness and wantings and not feeling enough and not being satisfied and being sort of irritable, bearing grudges, all of this jealousy, instantly dispelled by this as we recite the mantra. Om Vajrasattva samaya manupalaya Vajrasattva dinapatita dida mebowa sutokaya mebowa supokaya mebowa Anarakta mebowa sawasiti mimpi yatsa sawa kama sita me Sitam Shriyam Kuruhum Ha Ho Bhagavan Satagata Vajrame Mutsa Vajrabawa Mahasamaya Sattva Aham Pe Vajrasattva Samaya Manupalaya Vajrasattva Dina Patita Dida Mebawa Sutokaya Mebawa Supokaya Mebawa Anarakta Mebawa Sawasiti Mimpi Yatsa Sawa Kama Sita Me Sitam Shriyam Kuruhum Ha Ho Bhagavan Sawagata Vajramame Mutsa Vajrabawa Mahasamaya Sattva Aham Pe Vajrasattva Samaya Manupalaya Vajrasattva Dina Patita Dida Mebawa Sutokaya Mebawa Supokaya Mebawa Anarakta Mebawa Sawasiti Mimpi Yatsa Sawa Kama Sita Me Sitam Shriyam Kuruhum Ha Ho Bhagavan Sawatata Gata Vajramame Mutta Vajrabawa Mahasamaya Sattva Aham Pe Vajrasattva Samaya Manupalaya Vajrasattva Dina Patita Mebawa Sutokaya Mebawa Supokaya Mebawa Anarakta Mebawa Sawasi Mimpi Yatsa Sawa Kama Sita Me Sitam Shriyam Kuruhum Ha Ho Bhagavan Sawatata Gata Mutta Vajrabawa Mahasamaya Sattva Aham Pe Vajrasattva Samaya Manupalaya Vajrasattva Dina Patita Duda Mebawa Sutokaya Mebawa Supokaya Mebawa Anarak Mebawa Sawasiti Mimpi Yatsa Sawa Kama Sita Me Sitam Shriyam Kuru Ha Ho Bhagavan Sawatata Gata Vajramami Mutta Vajrabawa Mahasamaya Sattva Aham Pe Vajrasattva Samaya Nupalaya Vajrasattva Dina Patita Duda Mebawa Sutokaya Mebawa Supokaya Mebawa Anarakta Mebawa Sawasiti Mimpi Yatsa Sawa Kama Sita Me Sitam Shriyam Kuruhum Ha Ho Bhagavan Sawatata Gata Vajramame Mutta Vajrabawa Mahasamaya Sattva Aham Pe Vajrasattva Manupalaya Vajrasattva Dina Patita Duda Mebawa Sutokaya Mebawa Supokaya Mebawa Anarakta Mebawa Sawasiti Mimpi Yatsa Sawa Kama Sita Me Sitam Shriyam Kuruhum Ha Ho Bhagavan Sawatata Gata Vajramame Mutta Vajrabawa Mahasamaya Sattva Aham Pe. So again be delighted. All your delusions, which are the source of all of our suffering and the cause of why we harm others with our body and our speech, are totally purified, finished. And think there is no space in your heart now for anything other than love and kindness and forgiveness and wisdom and bliss and compassion. So next is a purification of the imprints of negativity of the body, speech and mind. And so this time you can imagine actually, or you can, if you wish, recite a couple of mantras each of the visualizations for the body, the speech and the mind. Or if that's a little bit too intense or too busy, you can just imagine light and nectar pouring into you, Vajrasattva's heart, and it eradicates even the subtlest imprints of negative energy from your mind as you recite the mantra. Vajrasattva Samaya Manupalaya Vajrasattva Dina Patita Dina Mebawa Sutokaya Mebawa Supokaya Mebawa Anarakta Mebawa Sawasiti Mimpi Yatsa Sawa Kama Sita Me Sitam Shriyam Kuruhum Ha Ho Bhagavan Sawatata Gata Vajramame Mutta Vajrabawa Mahasamaya Sattva Aham Pe Vajrasattva Samaya Manupalaya Vajrasattva Dina Patita Dina Mebawa Sutokaya Mebawa Supokaya Mebawa Anarakta Mebawa Sawasiti Mimpi Yatsa Sawa Kama Sita Me Sitam Shriyam Kuruhum Ha Ho Bhagavan Sawatata Gata Vajramame Mutta Vajrabawa Mahasamaya Sattva Aham Pe Vajrasattva Samaya Manupalaya Vajrasattva Dina Patita Dida Mebawa Sutokaya Mebawa Supokaya Mebawa Anarakta Mebawa Sawasiti Mimpi Yatsa Sawa Kama Sita Me Sitam Shriyam Kuruhum Ha Ho Bhagavan Sawatata Gata Vajramame Mutta Vajrabawa Mahasamaya Sattva Aham Pe Vajrasattva Samaya Manupalaya Vajrasattva Dina Patita Dida Mebawa Sutokaya Mebawa Supokaya Mebawa Anurakta Mebawa Sawasiti Mimpi Yatsa Sawa Kama Sita Me Sitam Shriyam Kuruhum Ha Ho Bhagavan Sawatata Gata Vajramame Mutta Vajrabawa Mahasamaya Sattva Aham Pe Vajrasattva Samaya Manupalaya Vajrasattva Dina Patita Dida Mebawa Sutokaya Mebawa Supokaya Mebawa Anurakta Mebawa Sawasiti Mimpi Yatsa Sawa Kama Sita Me Sitam Shriyam Kuruhum Ha Ho Bhagavan Sawatata Gata Vajramame Mutta Vajrabawa Mahasamaya Sattva Aham Pe Vajrasattva Samaya Manupalaya Vajrasattva Dina Patita Dida Mebawa Sutokaya Mebawa Supokaya Mebawa Anarakta me bawa sawasiti me piyatsa sawa kama sita me sitam shriyam kuru hum ha 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 ho bhagavan sawa tatagata vajramami mutsa vajrabawa mahasamaya sattva ahom pe Vajrasattva samaya manupalaya Vajrasattva dina patita dida me bawa sutokaya me bawa supokaya me bawa Anarakta me bawa sawasiti me piyatsa sawa kama sita me sitam shriyam kuru hum ha 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 ho bhagavan sawa tatagata vajramami mutsa vajrabawa mahasamaya sattva ahom pe. Now feel you are completely purified and not one atom of negativity left in your mind stream. Even the subtlest obscurations to omniscience have been removed. So now we come to the power of resolve, and this is a really crucial part of this practice, is we making a decision to not harm, to refrain from harming. And it's not quite likely that we'll be able to sort of do it overnight, that we'll never be able to harm again, or we'll never harm again, because we have the wish, we create the wish, we create the aspiration, but we're human and we have habits. So we just keep kind of falling into those habits, and it's okay. And sometimes we don't even recognize that we've kind of done something that's harmful, a habit that we have to speak in a certain way or talk about someone or whatever it is we do, lie, something, and then we just kind of chastise ourselves. It's okay, we just, oh, good, look, I recognized I did it. Fantastic. Okay, so I'll just be more aware next time. So give yourself a timeline as well, think, okay, so I won't gossip about the person next door for 5 seconds or 30 seconds, like if it's an issue or you're ruminating in your mind about something. Okay, I'm going to stop this for a second, 2 seconds, 3 seconds. Or I'm not going to do this while I'm sleeping overnight, because I will be asleep. So just like that, slowly, slowly, humbly, step by step. And all of this work takes an inordinate amount of time. So we have to be patient. That's all it is. We're healing ourselves. It takes time. We have lifetimes of habits. And this determination to not do again is what gives us the courage to change. So Vajrasattva, imagine, delighted with us, wanting to merge with your mind, he melts into white light and absorbs into you through your crown, and you think, my Guru's body, speech and mind, Vajrasattva's body, speech and mind, and my own body, speech and mind are the same thing. And LAMA YESHE calls this union oneness. And so Lama Zopa Rinpoche recommends to meditate on the emptiness of the 3 circles. In emptiness there is no I, the creator of negative karma, there is no action of creating negative karma, and there is no negative karma created. So whatever you understand about emptiness from what you've learned from Genla or Geshe-la, Venerable Rabina, or even Rinpoche, if you've heard him teach, whatever you understand, whatever level you understand it, just think about all phenomena as being empty. They do not exist from their own side. They're a bunch of cause and effect, dependent arising. And we can also think that perhaps the way things appear to me aren't necessarily the way they exist. So let's just dedicate all the merit, all the positive energy we've created this evening during this purification to all living beings, all the people of our life, and thinking, may all the virtuous karma I've created from doing this practice ripen as my enlightenment for the sake of sentient beings as quickly as possible. And for His Holiness the Dalai Lama, the wish-granting, wish-fulfilling jewel, source of every single benefit and happiness in this world, to the incomparably kind Tenzin Gyatso I beseech, may all your holy wishes be spontaneously fulfilled. And for Lama Zopa Rinpoche, you who uphold the subduer's moral way, who serve as the bountiful bearer of all, sustaining, preserving and spreading Manjunath's victorious doctrine, who masterfully accomplishes magnificent prayers honouring the 3 jewels, savour of myself and others your disciples, please, please live long. And for Lama Ursel, Venerable One, to you whose kindness exceeds that of all the conquerors, for those wanderers in far-off places, especially the West, mindful of your loving concern for us and intentionally descending again into a family of a far distant land, we make this request, O Lama, please, please live long. And for Geshe Shera, beloved teacher, leading your students toward wisdom and compassion, explaining through exacting discernment the steps of the graduated path. You are the unequal guide. Please live a long and stable life. There we go, gone like a dream, yet again. My life is disappearing before my very eyes. Okay, everybody, good night, sleep well, lots of love. I'm making very strong prayers for you to be able to breathe nice, clean, fresh air sometime very, very soon. Okay, do take care. Nice to see you, Mary, and I will see you all tomorrow. Good night.
Thank you, Venerable.